People drive through their neighborhoods every day. Streets filled with steady traffic, cars weaving in familiar patterns from years of routine. Cars moving steadily from home to work in the morning rush, headlights cutting through early light or fog. Horns occasional at intersections, a quick beep for attention rather than frustration or chaos. Lights flashing briefly before changing to green, signaling the flow to continue without pause. Shops open early, customers browsing inside slowly, taking time with decisions and choices. People pausing in aisles, comparing prices, checking phones for reviews or family messages. Lines forming at checkout counters, conversations starting easily between strangers or regulars. Small talk between shoppers and staff about the weather, weekend plans, or local events unfolding. Homes light up in the evenings as dusk settles gradually over rooftops, trees, and lawns. Families gathering for dinner around kitchen tables, sharing stories from the day, school, or work. Lights glowing through windows as night falls, casting warm shadows on driveways and sidewalks. Televisions flickering in living rooms with evening news, sports events, or familiar shows playing softly. Parks stay busy on weekends with full activity and energy from morning to evening hours. Children playing on swings and slides, laughing freely as they swing higher or race with friends. Dogs running across the grass while owners call them back with whistles or playful commands. People walking the paths alone or with friends, enjoying the open space, fresh air, and changing views. Benches occupied by readers immersed in books, couples in quiet conversation, or families resting after play. Daily life looks completely stable on the surface, routines weaving together seamlessly across seasons and years. Routines continue without major interruption or visible change, day blending into day smoothly and predictably. Everything appears unchanged from a year or two ago, the same scenes repeating in comforting, reliable ways. The familiar rhythm persists day after day, week after week, month after month, building a sense of continuity and security. At first glance, nothing seems wrong. That's exactly why this matters. This is where intuition begins to fail. People expect population decline to look dramatic and unmistakable from the very beginning. Empty streets in broad daylight, cars absent from usual parking spots along the curb, boarded up storefronts lining entire blocks, signs fading in the sun without replacement, abandoned houses that stand out clearly to anyone driving through the area on any day, neighborhoods that feel deserted even on sunny afternoons, silence replacing the usual sounds of life, closed schools or silent playgrounds as the first obvious, undeniable sign of trouble. Those images feel intuitive and logical in stories or media portrayals. They match how decline is often described in conversations or reports: sudden, visible, impossible to ignore or overlook for long. But long-term population decline almost never begins that way in reality or historical patterns. It starts when streets still look full and bustling with life at all hours. When traffic flows normally during rush hours, no unusual delays or empty lanes. When cafes, restaurants, and shops remain crowded at peak times, voices and activity filling the air. When community events, markets, and festivals draw regular crowds without any noticeable drop in attendance. When parks and recreational areas stay well used on weekends, laughter and play echoing across fields. When schools hold classes, sports practices, and activities on familiar schedules, bells ringing on time. When homes appear occupied, maintained, and part of an ongoing community fabric with lights and movement. Stability feels convincing, until it isn't. Here's where delay matters most. Decline doesn't arrive as a single dramatic event or external shock that everyone notices immediately. It doesn't come with public announcements, warnings, or coordinated movements that make news. It builds gradually through thousands of individual, private, rational choices made over months or even years. Households don't leave in waves or groups that create visible vacancies overnight. They reassess their personal situations step by step, weighing factors quietly and thoughtfully. Remote and hybrid work provides unprecedented flexibility that accumulates over time, opening doors to new possibilities. Ownership and living costs rise without reaching immediate crisis levels for the majority of owners. Lifestyle preferences, family needs, and long-term plans shift slowly, influencing decisions in subtle ways. One family explores alternative locations quietly over several months, researching schools and amenities. Another compares commute times, expenses, and quality of life in detail, making spreadsheets or notes. A third concludes the current trade-offs no longer balance for the next decade or beyond, prompting change. Moves happen one household at a time, without urgency or coordination that draws attention from neighbors or media, without drawing widespread notice or local discussion at first. This is where expectations stop working. Humans are wired to detect sudden changes and absences quickly in their environment for survival reasons. An empty parking lot on a typical weekday afternoon stands out. A favorite local business closing unexpectedly after years of operation registers strongly. A playground unusually quiet on a Saturday morning triggers questions. Those signals register fast and trigger concern or conversation. But gradual thinning and slowing renewal escape notice for extended periods, blending seamlessly into routines. New arrivals moderate first, less noticeable in daily life. Momentum fades long before physical emptiness becomes apparent to casual observers, or even longtime residents. What the data quietly confirms: Census Bureau Vintage 2025 estimates show overall U.S. population growth at 0.81%, driven mainly by international migration and modest natural increase. Domestic flows remain directional and persistent. High-cost coastal states like California, New York, and Illinois experience net outflows of 250K residents annually to lower-cost areas in the South or interior. Lower-cost regions in the South and interior continue to gain from these movements, but annual growth rates have moderated to 1–2% in many metro areas from higher pandemic-era levels of 3–4%. School enrollment patterns provide early confirmation of shifts. National public enrollment stabilizes around 49–50 million students, but regional variations show 1–3% dips or flattened growth from recent peaks in select districts across coasts, Midwest, and interiors. Housing market signals align with this gradual pattern. Days on market extend gradually in certain areas per Redfin and Zillow reports for 2025, without sharp increases or crashes. Outbound one-way rentals and search trends rise steadily without sharp spikes, as seen in U-Haul annual indices and real estate platform data. Regional contrasts make the delay clearer and more evident across the country. In coastal metros like those in California or Washington, domestic outflows continue year after year, yet downtown areas stay active with hybrid work models, tourism inflows, and cultural events, streets busy with pedestrians and cyclists, venues full with patrons and shows. In Midwest and Northeast legacy cities, slower overall growth combines with aging demographics. Enrollment adjusts downward subtly over periods, but parks remain maintained and used regularly. Shops operate normally with familiar faces. Community gatherings persist as traditions year-round. In Sunbelt gainers like parts of Texas, Florida, or North Carolina, inflows moderate. Construction projects continue on outskirts and new developments. Daily life flows smoothly with full schools and events. But long-term residents begin quiet reassessments of costs, insurance, and sustainability over time. No region shows empty streets or drastic emptiness as the starting point of decline in current data. Thinning happens beneath the visible surface first, layer by layer, over extended periods. The cumulative impact unfolds over 5–10 years on schools, local services, and budgets in measurable but gradual ways. Enrollment changes lead to funding adjustments that unfold step by step, affecting programs, staffing, and facilities over time. Local revenues shift without immediate service cuts for most residents, but strain builds incrementally on maintenance, planning, and future investments. Neighborhood character and community renewal evolve as new families arrive less frequently or in different patterns over the years. Visibility of these effects arrives late, long after the underlying momentum has already shifted direction irreversibly for many areas and communities. This shows why streets don't empty first. Renewal and momentum fade silently long before physical changes become obvious to the eye or conversation. Earlier in this series, we looked at why normal cities don't feel dangerous until it's too late. Tomorrow, we look at the first thing cities lose, long before anyone talks about decline. This is Urban Bird,